So like it's but here you go. Do you want to read it?
You're not recording it.
No one can see. The camera's pointing this way.
Up to you. This guy.
I think Khaled.
Aria.
Khaled.
So now go. Explain your point. Go on, explain your point.
Yeah.
Explain your point. So
Content over everything.
back to my question.
Read it
So
Arabic.
back
Read Arabic.
no. Well, my Arabic is not that all that.
Okay.
So my point to you is that you're asking that whether is ethical or right that
That
for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam
ethnically cleansed non-Muslims from the Arabian Peninsula.
Cleansed. So I disagree that he ethnically cleansed the Jews
Okay.
from the Arabian Peninsula. I don't think
Alright.
to ethnically cleanse somebody is through violent means. Ethnically cleansing is what the Lord's Christian Army in Rwanda when they killed everyone that was non-Christian. The Rwanda Civil War where two tribes went at it against one another, and the other tribe. That's ethnically cleansing.
Okay,
It's what Miroslav, that guy from Yugoslavia, when he killed,
Alright,
when he killed Muslims of Kosovo. That's ethnically cleansing.
Okay.
Expelling.
How about we like read out the definition of ethnic cleansing?
Yeah,
and
we'll
then
read it out. Read it out.
So what ethnic cleansing actually means is ethnic cleansing is the systematic forced removal of ethnic or racial groups from a given territory by a more powerful ethnic group, often with the intent.
So
Ethnic cleansing is the systematic forced removal of ethnic or racial groups from a given territory by a more powerful ethnic group. Okay, and so when Muhammad says, when he said,
That's funny.
sorry, let me go back a second.
You go on, ask me. What do you want to ask me, DNF?
When he said, I've lost my place now. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so when he said, if he said,
Can you do me a favour and tell James?
when he said he gave 3 orders, expel the pagans from the Arabian Peninsula. So when he said in Sahih Al-Bukhari that
James,
he
I
gave
need
3
to
orders.
say something to you. Someone said DNF. He said you are very repetitive on the same thing, on and on and on.
That's great, but no, I haven't talked to this guy about it yet.
Look, this guy here. Look.
Okay, he can think what he wants.
Yes, DNF. What are you saying?
So when he says basically that expel it, he's giving this order to the Muslims, and so the Muslims are going to carry out that order, and if Jews resist, then they'll use force, won't they? Because if Muhammad's the leader of the Muslims and he gives an order, expel all non-Muslims from the Arabian Peninsula, and so if non-Muslims living in the Arabian Peninsula resist, then obviously the Muslims are going to use force to carry out that order. So surely it does meet the definition of ethnic cleansing. It's forced removal of a group of people from where they've been living like for generations.
So my question to you is, the poppy that you wear right now is a sign of a group of people during the World War II that ethnically cleansed another group of nation during the Civil War. So if your argument in that is the immoral implications of ethnic cleansing, then I could turn around and say to you, this is a symbol of ethnic cleansing.
Okay,
Do you understand?
Well,
do you understand what the history of the poppy? Do you know what the history of the poppy is?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Would you like to explain to the camera?
Yeah, so it commemorates people who died in World War I and World War II.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you know the backstory behind it?
I
Because
don't know any
that's what
back-
we've been taught. That's what we've been told. That
Okay,
it's a symbol.
but I feel like you're kind of deflecting though. Because,
I'm not deflecting.
Well, no, wait. Either we can agree.
I'm telling you the same narrative that you're perpetuating is the same. It's the same.
Okay.
This symbolic
it's-
image that you have right now is the exact same thing.
But is the reason why you're bringing this up because you're trying to? Do you want us to agree that there are some times when ethnic cleansing is okay, and so it was okay for Muhammad to do this ethnic cleansing?
No, you're already doing it. You're already doing it by wearing a poppy.
Will you agree
You're already
that?
doing it by wearing a poppy, though.
Okay, yeah, no, but I'll try not to interrupt you though. And so either we're going to agree that ethnic cleansing is always bad, or you're going to try and say that, or you're going to
agree when we take off the poppy.
Or you're going to try and say that some ethnic cleansing is okay. And so if you're going with the second type, that some ethnic cleansing is okay, then can you explain how it's okay to ethnically cleanse all non-Muslims from the Arabian Peninsula. Like, how is that, a moral good example to follow?
So James, right?
Yeah, James.
We'll agree as soon as you take off the poppy.
Okay, well, I take off the poppy, because in World War II, I feel like, Britain entered that war under just terms in order to
What was the
stop.
just terms?
Well, because Germany was committing mass aggression against the rest of Europe and committing genocide, and so I think World War II was a good example of a just war. As for World War I, that was kind of that was less of a just war. It was kind of an unnecessary war.
It's a symbol for World War I, not II.
Well, the thing is, my grandfather fought in World War II, and so I'm gonna wear this to commemorate him, even if I think World War I was unnecessary or a mess.
You could commemorate him in a different way rather than what society is trying to perpetuate to you by wearing a symbol of ethnic cleansing and a chest wrap. You could commemorate him in different ways. Don't you agree?
But where are we going with this? Are we saying that all ethnic cleansing is wrong?
You're picking and choosing your arguments that you have against Islam.
Well,
James,
the thing is,
I've seen a few of your videos and through the debates and discussions you have. You have no interest in learning about Islam. You want to cherry pick your arguments about Islam and more or less point that towards certain Muslims in the park that have no knowledge about it, rather than I've pointed you towards certain characters in the park.
I haven't come to you. You came to me to talk about this. I was talking
to
someone else.
I was listening.
But I didn't pester you.
Then the camera popped up.
Okay, but don't imply that I pestered you about. Don't imply that I pestered you about this.
You do cherry pick your arguments.
I don't know what that means. Cherry pick the arguments. I show flaws. Yeah, I show flaws in Islam.
You pick and choose of what certain things about Islam that you feel that goes against your liberal views. Wrong, am I right?
Yeah, or general morality. I think most normal decent people. Yeah, I think most normal decent people would agree that ethnic cleansing is a bad thing. And so,
ethnic cleansing is a bad thing.
Okay, so did Muhammad do something wrong when he ethnically cleansed the Arabian Peninsula?
Did Muhammad do anything wrong by ethnically cleansing the Arabian Peninsula? No, he didn't, because he didn't ethnically cleanse the Arabian Peninsula.
Okay.
The Jews were expelled for a reason, because the only reason why they were expelled was that the treachery that they did against the Muslims at a time when they had a treaty and they had a covenant with them. So say, for example, right now, you and I, we're friends. Okay. I'm warring with this gentleman here. Hold up. I'm warring with this gentleman here. Your people are my rear. Now you've gone against me and now backed my enemy. Now you have become my snake. So if I'm in the living room and I know there's a snake in there, I'm going to take out the snake in order for me to feel safe and secure. So that's what he's done. So it's a fair thing.
Well,
it's a fair thing.
Okay, so I can show you that reason you've given for why all non-Muslims were paid. I'm telling you you're wrong.
You're telling me the Jews didn't break their covenant.
That's not the reason.
Okay, you're telling me
some Jews did betray Muhammad, but I'm telling you that's not the reason why all Jews and all other non-Muslims were cleansed from the Arabian Peninsula.
The Hadith James is picking out the one on the deathbed, yeah?
Yeah.
Whereas what your brother you're referring to is when Banu Qurayza, Banu Nadir, and Banu Qaynuqa, they were the tribes that rebelled, right?
Yeah, they rebelled against
You're talking about two separate.
Yeah, and so I'm going to read a hadith from Muwatta Malik. Okay. Yahya related to me from Malik, from Ibn Shabib. This is from Muwatta Malik. I'll get the exact reference. Oh, okay. Wait a second. Yeah, so this is from the Muwatta of Malik, book 45, hadith 18. Okay, and so Yahya related to me from Malik, from Ibn Shabib, that the Messenger of Allah, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, said, 2 deens shall not coexist in the Arabian Peninsula. Okay, so that's the reason why he ethnically cleansed them, because he didn't want any non-Muslims, any different sorts of faith being in the Arabian Peninsula.
Continue.
Okay, the rest of it's not very relevant, but sure. Malik said that Ibn Shabib said, Umar ibn al-Khattab searched for information about that until he was absolutely convinced that the Messenger of Allah, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, said, no, 2 deens shall not coexist in the Arabian Peninsula, and therefore he expelled Jews from Khaybar. Malik said that Umar ibn Khattab expelled the Jews from Najran, a Jewish settlement in Yemen, and Fadak, a Jewish settlement 30 miles from Medina, and it just continues talking about all the Jews that were expelled. That's the rest of the hadith.
Okay.
So that's the reason why Jews and all non-Muslims were expelled from the Arabian Peninsula under Muhammad's orders, because he didn't want any people of a different religion living there.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is, like, is that wrong? And if you think it isn't wrong, how would you feel if, tomorrow the British government said, no two religions shall exist in Britain, and so they expelled all non-Christians from Britain?
That did happen at one stage.
But it was wrong, wasn't it, when that happened? Isn't it wrong to do that to people who've been living there all their lives?
Okay, there was a stage where the British government didn't allow any other religions to coexist within the UK, within England at one stage. I don't know what rating it was, whether it's King Henry VIII, King James I.
But isn't that
King
wrong?
Edward, I'm not
isn't
too
that
sure.
also wrong?
Personally, as a Muslim, I will never disagree with anything the Prophet ﷺ says.
No, but hold on. But that means you don't have any sort of internal moral compass, because
Islam gives me moral compass.
But hold on.
Islam gives me moral compass.
Were you aware?
However, I'm not a historian.
Okay.
And I need to look into this type of this hadith at the end of the day.
But the thing is,
I need to look into this type because I'm still a layman at the end of the day.
There's a really important thing here though, because what's just happened is, but before this conversation started, I'm sure you would have agreed that ethnic cleansing is a bad thing, okay? But now I've just shown you that Muhammad did ethnic cleansing, and now you're saying that, I won't.
Expel the Jews on his deathbed. He was dying, right? On his deathbed.
But now that I've shown you that Muhammad did that, you're saying I won't condemn it. So, like, imagine if I brought you. Imagine if I brought you.
I like what you're doing.
But imagine if I brought you another hadith showing that Muhammad, committed murder. Then you'd say, well, I don't condemn him for doing that.
Show me hadith they committed murder.
No, I don't. No, I'm saying, imagine if that did happen.
But you can't use that narrative.
But it's what.
That's a very slight narrative.
No, but it isn't. But what's happened? But it has just happened with ethnic cleansing, though. You've just said I won't condemn Muhammad for committing ethnic cleansing, even though I've shown you that what's happened.
Is ethnic cleansing an act of war?
No. Can you define?
It didn't happen during war.
No,
I can show you that it's after the Arabian Peninsula was totally conquered. It was on Muhammad's deathbed. He said, oh, okay, I don't want any two deans existing on the Arabian Peninsula. Expel all the Jews and all the non-Muslims from the Arabian Peninsula, and that's ethnic cleansing.
You're talking about Medina and Makkah, yeah?
And several other regions, several other regions as well.
One second. Can you give us the reference so we can check that out? Can you give us the reference?
Yeah, sure.
What's the reference?
There's several
because
references.
I know, Makkah and Medina. Makkah and Medina, yes. Even till today, anyone can go in there. You just need to say the Shahada, and then you can go in there. Do you understand? Basically, that's the requirement of the law of the land.
Do you want me to give you the hadith references?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we want to see if it's weak, if it's real, or what.
They're all sahih, I promise.
Do you agree that ethnic cleansing is an act of war?
I don't know, because if let's say Britain ethnically cleansed Irish travellers tomorrow and said, okay, all Irish travellers, you have to report to Heathrow by tomorrow and you have to get on the plane and get out of here. I'm not sure if that would be considered an act. It would definitely be an atrocity. It would be awful, but it wouldn't be an act of war because they aren't a nation and you're not sort of committing war. They're not state. So I'm not sure if it would count as war, but it's definitely wrong. It's wrong though.
If they say no, we're not leaving.
Yeah.
In order to ethnically cleanse them, it's going to have to turn to warfare.
Yeah, force. Yes.
Of course. So ethnically cleansing, generally speaking, is an act of war. So I'm asking you, are you against war?
It depends whether it's just or not. There is such a thing as a just war,
Okay,
like maybe World War II might be, but...
Right, so basically, as you're obviously not against war because you've got your poppy on, yeah? So from the Muslim point of view, it was a just war. It's as simple as that. From your point of view, it's not. Likewise, the Iraq war, from certain points of view, is a just war, and from other points of view, ain't. It's as simple as that. There's no point in you trying to select that one situation and say, that's an atrocity, and then you got a poppy on.
I wear this poppy to commemorate the people of World War I and World War II.
That's related to war. The poppy is related to war.
No, but there's different. We can agree that there's kind of good war and bad war.
It doesn't make no sense, James. You're an intelligent guy, and you must be able to recognise the sense of what I'm saying. Because it's complete sense.
All right. Let's say you prove that I'm a total hypocrite. Let's say you find out that I've made posts glorifying Pol Pot and other genocidal regimes. Let's say you find that I am a total hypocrite. Even if I am a hypocrite, if I am showing that Muhammad did something wrong, you still need to deal with that, even if I'm a hypocrite. You can't just say, okay, yes, that's true, but you're also bad, because you're just admitting that Muhammad's bad. I've already given the context.
You yourself said there's such thing as a just war. You said that yourself. That came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
So from the Islamic point of view, that was a just act. If you want to call it an act of war, it was
against
an
people that transgress.
Then let's analyze. No, but let's analyze why you think it's a just act.
Jews transgressed against Muslims on countless occasions. Do you understand? So you are in conflict with these type of people. Do you understand? So it was just by expelling people that are known to have stabbed you in the back before, which is very just. Traitors. And what happened to traitors in this country back in the day? What happened to even though?
You can't collectively punish people, though. No. Because remember, all non-Muslims were expelled, and not all non-Muslims attacked the Muslims.
The way you're portraying.
We all know you don't like Islam, yeah?
Let's see here. I don't like traditionalist Islam. I don't like Salafi Islam.
You don't like Salafi Islam, why?
Salafi Islam, because Salafi Islam includes orthodox Sharia law,
what
which
type
is.
of Islam do you like then? What type of Islam do you like?
Honestly,
what fits you? What fits your narrative?
Honestly, modern Hanafi Islam, which
modern Hanafi Islam.
Yeah, where they try and be quite egalitarian and try not to be unfair.
They don't believe in Sharia?
They have a much more benevolent form of Sharia, because they don't believe, for example, that if a non-Muslim kills a Muslim, then a non-Muslim should be killed. But if a Muslim kills a non-Muslim, then the Muslim should not be killed.
And where is that?
Where does that say that? Where does that say that? That's a tooth. If I'm a Muslim brother, if I kill this Muslim brother, it's up to his family of how they want to deal with me.
Yeah.
Let's say, hypothetically speaking, we're in a Sharia environment. If I kill this Muslim brother, it's up to his family how they want to deal with me. They can accept blood money, or they can take my life, despite if I'm Muslim or not. Do you understand?
So no, that's not.
You're just trying to find the Islam that suits your liberal agenda, that makes you feel more comfortable being around other Muslims, because they won't try to perpetuate their Islam on me. Islam's unapologetic. It's uncompromising.
Well, yeah,
it's uncompromised. It's uncompromised, and I won't apologise for Islam.
What?
I won't apologise. Wallahi, I didn't want to apologise for it. But look, you're very smart.
You've turned from the kind of person who would ordinarily condemn ethnic cleansing to a person who won't, just because you don't want to condemn Muhammad.
I commend you on speaking.
But
thank you.
But
you're an excellent speaker, James. I'll give you this. You're an excellent speaker.
I can show you that my claim about Sharia law is true as well.
Your good showmanship here. I commend you on your showmanship.
I'm just trying to be truthful. I'm just trying to be truthful.
James. But you're trying to be truthful, but you're not trying to be sincere. You're not sincere. You're not sincere. You're very intellectual. You're intellectual speaking Islamophobe. And I rate that in the sense you have no interest in learning about Islam.
No, but how have I been insincere?
If you had any misconceptions,
have I been insincere?
Because I
today?
know, see, when I talk to somebody, yeah, it's through human behavior and cognitive thinking, yeah. When I look at you and the vibe that I get from you, you have no interest in learning about Islam. You cherry pick your arguments and you try to put people in the corner.
And you put your own spin on it.
You put your own spin. Your own spin.
How have I put a spin on it here?
No, it is.
Can we be precise?
As a sandwich,
what have I done
let me give
today?
it to you as a sandwich, yeah. If you was a sandwich, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, be a perfect tuna melt sandwich, cuz I'm not gonna lie to you.
Be specific though, because if you're saying that I'm being dishonest, I'm being insincere, then please be specific.
I'm not saying
hangouts, man, and stuff like that.
What have I said that's lying, that's misrepresenting? I've brought you the hadiths, haven't I? And I've shown you exactly what they said.
You and I, bullshit aside, cameras aside, because I'll take you over there and I'll still speak to you privately, yeah? Bro, you and I are both aside, know this, yeah? That you have no interest in learning about Islam.
No, I've learned a fair bit about Islam. And I've shown you that.
What have you learned about Islam?
What
have you learned about Islam?
I've learned several things about Sharia law, for example.
Okay, what's the fundamentals of Islam?
And how many years have you been studying on it, James? How many years?
What's the fundamentals of Islam?
Well, no, I know. Like part-time, it's hazy to say kind of like how many years you've studied.
No, hold on. 1 minute.
But the thing is, though, I look into parts of Islam that I find interesting, because I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to disagree with let's pray, let's go to pilgrimage. Those things, there's nothing wrong with them. What's wrong are things like unfair laws that would count as apartheid and oppressive. And so I gave you an example from Sharia law, how Qisas, an eye for an eye, retaliation,
Is that not fair?
qisas.
Is that not fair?
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
It's not fair when under Maliki, Shafi, and Hanbali, the well understood position on Qisas is that if a Muslim kills a non-Muslim, then that Muslim may not be killed in retaliation. But if a non-Muslim kills a Muslim, that non-Muslim will be killed in retaliation.
First and foremost,
And that's true. And I can show.
what the Quran says.
And what about?
Okay, one second. James,
No, but what
That's
about?
the ruling.
No,
James,
but you aren't
Can I ask you,
aware
how
of the
long you been
hadith.
reading-
You aren't
how long
aware
you
of the hadith.
James.
I'm talking to this guy. I'm sorry, but you aren't aware of the hadith where Muhammad specifically said, in Qisas, no blood of a Muslim may be spilled for a non-Muslim. There's a Sahih hadith where he said that, and that's the justification for why kind of these three schools of Sharia law, their orthodox, well agreed upon position is as I've said. And so, do you want me to bring out that hadith to show you?
One second, James. I tell you what, let me just quickly get in there. During the week, you should join our hangout on our hangout.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Join us on the hangout. I'll get few people who are learned on this situation, because if I start reading a book, say How to Fly a Plane, for about a couple of years, I can't call myself well researched or something without going to the scholars and learning from them and getting specific, like tafsir, why, what. Do you understand?
What if I go to a scholar and find their opinion and their justification for
There's
it?
no scholars in this country.
What do you mean?
There's no
As in, what I'm saying about Sharia law, I'm saying from having checked the relevant chapters in classical works of fiqh, such as the Muqtasar of Al-Quraki, which transmits Ibn Hanbal's opinions, such as the Kitab al-Siyah by
James, all you're doing right now, you're just
by
mentioning
Al-Shaybani, which transmits
you're
the
using
Hanafi
Arabic
position.
terms
I'm giving references. So these are authoritative. These are authoritative texts, like the Distinguished Jurist Primer by Ibn Rushd.
On Sharia as a whole. However, have you studied? So you studied the Sharia. You studied the Sharia.
No, I'm not going to. So I've looked into specific issues and I found out what is the position on this issue.
Have you cross-referenced as well?
Yeah.
And if you
Well, cross-reference with what?
No. Have you been to a scholar? Anything that you found problem with in the Sharia, Have you actually got that bit and you contacted this school of thought or that school of thought, and did you actually go into the answer? Can you explain this to me? Have you gone and got the actual Islamic understanding from a scholar, not like layman's here on Speaker's Corner? Because you know what,
I've looked up written kind of opinions by scholars that exist today. Like, for example, Islam QA has several, fully qualified sheikhs given their opinions, given their rulings, and they have full qualifications, and they're part of the ulama or whatever. And so, I have looked that far. I don't know many in England. Like, I was speaking to Anwar a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to ask him an issue in Maliki fiqh, and he said, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And it was actually one of the new converts.
I've got a video. I know exactly what he said.
Yeah, well,
you came to him asking.
I wanted to ask him a question about Maliki fiqh.
Question.
Oh no, he didn't even listen to the question. And then I said, okay, fine. No, I said to him, okay, if you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. Can you tell me where I can find out more about Maliki fiqh? And he said, oh, I don't know. Even though previously he told me that he knew about Maliki, so he was intentionally I tried to find out, Anwar's, like many would say, like one of the most qualified sort of dawah personalities who's regular. He's still a layman, but you could say he's a transmitter or whatever. He would be able to tell me where I can find out a proper Maliki scholar, but he didn't say that. It was actually the ginger new convert guy who said, "Oh, I know someone."
James, if you're sincere, what you should do, actually, go to a scholar, go to a masjid, and actually learn about these things. You understand? You can't just read things here and there.
There's not one Muslim scholar in this country. Where can he go? Muslim scholar.
Okay, I can't give you a
contact.
name
I'll give you contact details of people to contact my cousin furthermore. I can give you people to contact. There's not a Muslim scholar in this country.
To learn the Sharia, man, you have to go Medina.
Okay, so what happens if I contact these qualified people? And they say yes, and I believe that they'll say yes, that's right, that's the orthodox classical position of these schools, and you're transmitting it faithfully from these authoritative works. Because I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, I will follow it through with it. I'll do what you say, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not just reading kind of Mickey Mouse opinions. I'm going to Ibn Rushd. I'm going to I'm looking at the most the most sort of well-regarded, authoritative, earliest classical works of of Islamic jurisprudence on this. So that's what I say. That's what I'm talking about when I say Sharia law. So earlier you called me kind of like insincere or twisting things. I really because lots of because
I have that opinion.
I have that
And
opinion.
do you know what?
Because
I sincerely will apologise from the pits of my heart if that is wrong. If that is wrong.
We don't know
I don't know your qalb. I don't know what's in your heart. I genuinely do not know what's in your heart.
What's apparent? What I've seen
Inshallah,
of James,
God willing,
I believe he's insincere.
I hope you're being sincere.
Yeah, I only try to find the
Your
truth.
aura and your energy to me admits that you're being insincere. However, I could be wrong.
Okay.
I'm not perfect. I could genuinely be wrong. And if I am wrong, I sincerely apologise. I sincerely apologise.
And
Do
when
you
he's
accept that
trying to
apology?
I accept it. That's good
Only
of you.
Allah knows. Only
Okay,
Allah
I've
knows.
seen
Only
his
God knows
posts
whether you're
completely
being
changed
sincere or
when he's
not.
talking
If you
to
generally
another
have certain,
Islamophobe.
let's say, for example, doubts
I know,
or
I'm going to call them
misconceptions
Islamophobe.
or
I
things
don't
that
think
need
some of these people,
clarifying,
I'm alright in good terms with me.
by the side,
Like people like Steve.
I will give you certain
talk to them,
contact
okay?
details.
But you know when they get
contact
when they start having
people
chats,
of
they
great
sometimes
and
forget
higher
there's people
knowledge.
there watching
He
it.
is not the place of
And you
knowledge.
can
There's a
tell,
few people that
know
know bits and bobs. There's a few people that have finished the Quran and the tafsirs and stuff like that. But there's no one here. Not in the UK. There's not one active scholar. People might try to rely on him. There's not one scholar in the UK.
I'm not
All
on
the
their opinion.
scholars are
If
in
you
other
don't like
countries,
Islam,
Medina,
you're
Mecca,
Okay,
no.
sure.
Dar es
I'm not
Salaam,
saying that. I am not
Kenya,
saying that.
other places
I'm
in the world.
saying
There's not one
James is
scholar in
talking
this
about
country.
certain issues
understand?
about Sharia. Yeah, it is like it's like our fiqh stuff he's talking about. It's not cut and dry like that. What you need to do, people go to like Medina University, spend 10, 15 years plus to learn about the fiqh stuff, the jurisprudence, everything like that, and then they come and
But the thing is,
you can't just read a couple of years.
No. But the thing is, I'm not trying to, give my scholarly opinion. I'm not doing my original research. I'm not doing, what's the word, ijtihad. I'm not doing that. All I'm doing is transmitting and trying to go to the most authoritative source I can, looking at what it says the ruling is,
and James, I'm not telling you, you can't just read like that and put your own spin on it with today's.
No, but I'm not giving my own spin on it. Look, what does Shamsi say? He doesn't say I'm a scholar. This is true because I'm right. He says I'm just transmitting, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm transmitting from like Ibn Rushd. I'm transmitting from Al-Qaraqi, from Hanbal, from Shafi, from Maliki.
What I'm saying is that even though you're transmitting, do you understand? Do you agree to this? You might be misunderstanding something and transmitting it wrong. But by look, like because you're from the West here, you're born here, your certain conditioning and everything like that. It's not going to be. It's different.
He has a valid.
You might have valid. I'm not saying you don't have valid. I'm not saying you're
discuss.
insincere in the terms of you're totally insincere person. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. Yeah? I'm not saying you're complete. Someone like Raj. I'm not saying you're like that. I'm not saying that. Sometimes I can tell you're not being insincere. You're genuinely asking questions. I'm talking about. There's times I've seen you.
You're the main guy now. Go over there, man. You're the main guy.
Sometimes I've seen you ask certain questions, loaded questions, just for that shock effect. Do you understand? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying you're 100% insincere. I'm just saying that if you really want to learn these things, some of the things that you've read up, I probably don't know. Some of the stuff that you've read up, I haven't read up on it like that. But what I'm saying is, believe me, man, when you want to learn about the Sharia, you need to go to certain people who knows about that, who have actually been to Medina, spent 20 years plus years learning about it.
Come take over everything from your man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
Why is it that I know someone would say alcohol is haram, and yet when I look for different rulings, it's clearly there are some rulings that people can say confidently this is the case without getting their PhD in Islamic studies and like ijazas and all that.
Yeah.
So what delineates whether someone can repeat what the position is about a ruling in fiqh and what